Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network channel, and welcome here to the Ramble. Here as I get my predictions for WWE Survivor Series Takeover. I get my predictions over on Malik's channel. Check it out, where we predicted. Sorry, I was just spending most of my morning with my nephew, and that was awesome. Trust me, I did. I love it. But tired as a person now. Having fun and running around with you, Anyways, let's predict SummerSlam, Survivor Series, sorry. But predicting Survivor Series, very interesting show. I'm sure will be more interesting with many things to happen to come down the line in regards to many of things that could be best for business. You know what I mean? So I just have that ready in case someone's able to join. And if you are watching live, to share that you can. Yeah, as usual, you can find me on Twitter at the Ramble_WWE. I'm part of a game called Who Got Double Teamed at WT Teamed. We had our next case started already this early this morning. Good thing that all happened before my nephew came over. So I was able to ask for my info, talk to my team and people, and get that all accomplished. But anyways, we got NWO over there in regards to my team for Double Teamed. And here, show also, as always, you can find me on personal handle. Snapchat there, CBK_06, and Instagram, StephenK_06. But like I said, let's talk about WWE Survivor Series. As I give my predictions for the grand events, I'm sure to be interesting. I'm sure it'll be grand. I'm sure it'll be, awesome. So if you are watching live, welcome to share your comments in regards to who you think will win and whatever else I talk about. It will be shared here. If you are okay with that, and hopefully some people will be able to join as I go along, but this might be a quick video as I just run through the show, and we'll start with the champions versus champions, and the first one of those, United States Champion AJ Styles versus Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura versus the NXT North American Champion Roderick Strong in the triple threat match there for the mid-card title champions. WWE. You could have like Cruiserweight Champion versus 24 Champion, 24/7 Champion. That'd be an interesting matchup there. But anyways, for this one, I'm actually going to go with Roderick Strong to get the win. I see Roderick Strong coming out in the end. Though I know most probably would be saying AJ Styles. But for me, I have Roderick getting the win, pitting Shinsuke and winning and getting the first point in regards to the battle or NXT, the Raw, the SmackDown. Then we have the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT teams for the men's Survivor Series elimination match. And as of right now for Monday Night Raw, we have Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, Ricochet, and Kevin Owens. For SmackDown, we have Braun Strowman, King Corbin, Roman Reigns, Shorty G, Chad Gable, and Ali, Mustafa Ali. And for NXT, we have no idea who is part of that team. And with that being said, so I would say that Team NXT to win here as well, get the win. Whoever's the team that makes up Team NXT really doesn't matter to me, only because I believe that Team NXT is going to win in that matchup here, there at least for the men's traditional Survivor Series matchup. And we move on to the women's, where we have Raw vs. SmackDown versus NXT. For SmackDown, we have Nikki Cross, Sasha Banks, Lacey Evans, Carmella, and Dana Brooke. For Raw, we have Charlotte Flair, Sarah Logan, Asuka, and Natalia. And for NXT, we Ripley and others. For this one, I'm going to go with Team SmackDown. I have Team SmackDown getting the win. I mean, if I had to pick two or one, I would probably say Carmella and Sasha Banks. those two to be the sole survivors in the match, but I have Team SmackDown getting the win there for that contest. Next up, we have Raw Tag Team Champions for the Viking Raiders versus the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the New Day, versus the NXT Tag Team Champions, Undisputed Era. And here I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era to get the win, probably putting the Viking Raiders, a member of them, of course. But I'm going to the Undisputed Era to get the win there. Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley versus the NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. For this one, I'm going to go in with an upset, or at least a surprise to some, maybe not all. But I'm going to predict the SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley to get the win. Now, as you can tell by these predictions, I don't have Raw winning really anything, let alone... No, I don't have them winning anything. I have like SmackDown versus NXT. So I'm sure I'll probably get some wrong because Raw probably will win something, if not more than just something. But I think in the end, NXT can win this war, this battle, in regards to the brand supremacy and Survivor Series. Like always, wish there was more the stakes, but it is what it is, just bragging rights and how cool like that. But I do have Bayley getting the win. And I would actually have Bayley defeat Shayna Baszler in that in the finish. But either way, and Bayley getting the win. Bayley be the dominant champion in the women's division, Raw, or for WWE, here in the Battle of the Champions. In that matchup specifically, now the first of the two non-title matches, or non-champion versus champion, non-brand supremacy matches, we have the Universal Championship on the line, where the Fiend Bray Wyatt facing up against Daniel Bryan. Good matchup, strong matchup. You know, you have Daniel Bryan, someone that you can believe could beat Bray Wyatt, has in the past. Former champion himself, fan favorite. So at least it's that. At least they're having that first opponent being someone truly credible and where you think could. But it's still Bray Wyatt's first challenger. So in that regard, I have the Fiend Bray Wyatt retaining his Universal Championship and defeating Daniel Bryan. Next up in the final match here, the WWE Championship match, we have champion Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio in a no-holds-barred, no disqualification match. You know, something's telling me to go with Rey Mysterio, like a lot of things are. But I'm going to predict Brock Lesnar. I'm just saying. Gosh darn it. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if Rey won. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. Rey Mysterio won the championship. I just won't be. Hold on a second. It's just that I think that the match is going to be good. It's going to be a long one. So it might even be the main event. And I would say it's going to be the main event if Rey Mysterio is going to win the title. You have that moment with him and Dominic's confetti coming down or something like that to that effect, just like when he won the title in 2006. Same building. So I would say that would be pretty cool. And I would say if that's going to be the finish, if that's not how it's going to end, and Rey Mysterio winning the title and having a moment with his son, then that probably be the main event to close the book of the show and leave everybody happy sort of thing. But if that's not the case, then Brock's simply going to retain, long match or short match, having it earlier on the card, and having the men's Survivor Series match being the main event, because that would make sense to Survivor Series. That's the thing, that's the gimmick. And you have then the reveal of who's part of Team NXT in the men's side of things. And then maybe them winning and NXT being strong and winning in the end. And maybe it's all tied up with all the brands. And that's the final one. So I can get that, why that would be the main event. And it probably will be. I'm just saying that in my humble, esteemed opinion, that is, you take it with a grain of salt. But I truly think that if Rey Mysterio is to win the title, that should be and probably would be booked to be the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio winning and having that moment with Dominic. So I do see there are a couple people that were watching live. If anybody's still here, you're welcome to share your thoughts and what you think in regards to predictions or what I'm saying. Like your voice be heard. CM Punk's back. Congrats to the voiceless in any capacity of WWE. By the way, no, I don't see CM Punk being the mystery member in regards to the NXT takeover War Games match. The men, nor do I see him being part of the Team NXT, though it does work with the colors because he used to be part of the Team Nexus. Remember, that was Nexus was NXT colors. But the point is, it's not going to be him. But I do think that CM Punk's music will be heard during the event at some point. If not, he'll be guest commentator, just showing up to say hi and leaving, sort of that sort of quick thing. But still, Fox, part of Fox, yes, but a guest of WWE's in that light, right? Since he's not signed to WWE, of course, he's signed with Fox, as we've heard ad nauseum. So by fans and sometimes even himself. So I still do think, though, we'll see CM Punk on Sunday. If not just for a curtain call, and that would be awesome. Still somewhat of a surprise, right? Because we're not totally expecting it or worried about it or thinking about it. Especially if they do it at a time, the point of the show where they wouldn't expect it, or after a match that everybody's still talking about anyways. Or he comes out after a certain result happens or something, and just standing there in the aisleway and whatever. Maybe that's how the show ends, with him coming out. He gives the fan reaction, that's awesome. And he's not there to start any feud or to do anything like that. He's not in WWE, right? Signed with Fox, right? But still, they're in Chicago. Go see CM Punk. Part of a WWE show again. Even if for a very short time. It's just as a guest of the company. Or as they would put it, the guest. Be our guest. But anyways, just wanted to, as I do each and every week, my show, my podcast is Steve's Wrestling Ramble Planet. Every single week, it's usually on Thursdays, but now it's been moved to Saturdays with SmackDown being no longer live, or at least no longer live on Thursdays. It's no longer live on Tuesdays. It is SmackDown on Fox, Friday Night SmackDown. So with that, this show has moved to Saturday, so we could talk about Raw and SmackDown, NXT, and all the shows. Like I said, this video was specifically to predict the pay-per-view, which is why I didn't really bring up Raw or SmackDown, the shows. Though things that happen during those shows is kind of the reason why I'm predicting why I'm predicting for, I would say, 60% of the matches. But otherwise, I just say it's going to be an interesting show, and I look forward to seeing how everything turns out in that regard. Wait a little bit, seeing if somebody here able to or want to. But yeah, that StreamYard link is for anybody to be part of the show, not just watching the show. But either way, it's going to be very interesting to see how it all goes. And that's why I share the StreamYard app basically to the world, to be quite honest, in a tweet form, than usually showing the link to watch it. Because, hey, new faces, new thoughts. In regards to matches or in regards to things, I don't mind having a quote-unquote unknown person, meaning that I don't know him, or her, him or her, whoever. I don't discriminate. To come on the show here today, since my regular team members aren't able to do so. Busy Saturday, I'm sure. But yeah, leave the door open for people to be able to come on, share their thoughts. That's how I usually am. Always welcome an opening. And let people share their stuff. And I mean stuff as in opinions in regards to WWE. And be able to do that. And that's why I like to have people on the show, whether they're actual co-hosts or guests or just be able to jump on for a couple seconds or minutes, whatever, to share quick thoughts. If they want to, if they haven't already shared on their own channel, sort of thing. Or even just to jump on the plug their channel. I don't care. I mean, I don't mind being used in that way. It's respect that. The point is that's why I shared the StreamYard link in the other message and conversation with people. And see if anybody was able to or care to join in the fun for whatever time they have. But for me, I'm done with the prediction. I'm done predicting. I'm looking forward to seeing how everything happens, or everything goes down tonight and then goes on Sunday night. As I didn't predict any Raw teams to win, I probably will get some wrong because I'm sure Ramble will win something. It'll be one of those neck and neck scores in regards to the bragging rights and final match. But either way, it's going to be very interesting. Nonetheless, share his stuff. Thank you, bud. Thank John Raddick for sharing that. But anyways, without any further ado, without any people joining on, I will revise. As I always say, you can find me on Twitter at @TheRamble_WWE. Personal handle is at Army_Strong_06. Instagram at StephenK_06. Snapchat at StephenK_06. And of course, for the game I'm playing in regards to Who Done It on Twitter at W Teamed, where we had our next case that already started this early morning before I got to see my nephew and hang out with my nephew Kane today. Excuse me. So that's what's going on for that game there. And Conrad and others that were part of the chat. And I look forward to, and I will be back on Sunday, Sunday night, tomorrow night. I'll give my review of the show, so people are welcome again to join that. But all in all, hope you all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the weather in your area. And a bubble house. As always, take care.